You know that feeling. When you're somewhere new, maybe trying to figure out directions or just buy something simple.
Oh, definitely. Like at a train station or in a shop.
Exactly. And you just wish you had the right, like, key phrases without needing a whole grammar lesson.
Yeah, you just want to communicate effectively, handle the situation, even if your language skills are still, developing. It's about feeling equipped.
Right. And that's really what we're focusing on today. We've got this great source material. It's basically a collection of everyday English conversation examples.
hmm Designed specifically for beginners or maybe lower intermediate learners.
Yeah, people just starting out or building confidence. So our plan is to kind of pick apart these conversations.
Not really a deep grammar dive, though. More about finding those really practical phrases you can use straight away.
Precisely. We're looking at common situations, the airport, the grocery store, even meeting people at school.
And the goal is to pull out the useful bits,
Mm.
understand why they work.
So you walk away feeling a bit more sure of yourself, better understood. Those little wins. Okay, let's dive in. First stop, the airport.
Airports are a good starting point. Lots of necessary functional language happens there. Very task-oriented.
Totally. Okay, so the first scenario has Maria checking in for her flight, talking to Sam, who's the airline agent.
Right.
And Maria starts off very politely. Hello, I would like to check in, please. That please at the end.
Mhm.
It seems small, but it's important, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It makes a huge difference. She could just say, I want to check in, which is direct, sure.
But maybe a bit blunt.
Yeah, maybe. Adding, I would like, and especially please, just softens it, shows consideration. In a service situation like that, it definitely helps create a more positive interaction.
Makes sense. Okay, so Sam, the agent, replies with the standard questions. Hi, can I see your passport and ticket, please? Obvious essentials for travel.
hmm Passport and ticket, you're not getting far without those.
Could he ask that differently? Is can I see the only way?
Well, he could say, may I see your passport and ticket? Or, could I see?
Oh, okay.
May I and could I are often seen as slightly more formal, maybe a touch more polite than can I.
But they all work.
Yes, they all work perfectly fine in this context. It often just comes down to personal style, or maybe what the airline prefers their staff to say.
Gotcha. Okay, then Maria, after handing over her documents, isn't sure where to go next. She says, yes, please, I'm not sure where to go.
And that's great that she just asks. It's so much better than just wandering off, right?
Definitely. Saves time and stress. And Sam gives really clear directions. Go straight down this hall, then turn left at the end. Gate 12 will be on your right.
See, those are perfect directions.
Yeah.
Simple, sequential.
What makes them so effective, do you think?
It's the direct verbs go straight, turn left, and the clear landmarks like at the end and on your right, plus the specific gate number. Very easy to follow, step by step.
Right. No ambiguity. And then they wrap it up nicely. Maria says, thank you very much.
Standard politeness,
Mm.
acknowledging the help.
And Sam responds, you're welcome. Have a safe flight and a great trip. Why are those closing bits so sort of standard?
They just complete the interaction positively.
Yes.
You're welcome is the natural reply to thank you. And wishing someone a safe flight or great trip is just, well, it's friendly. Shows good customer service, leaves a good final feeling.
Okay, so let's pull out the key phrases from just this one airport chat. We've got check-in,
Which just means registering for your flight, telling the airline you're there,
then passport and ticket.
your essential documents. Can't travel without them.
Asking for directions to gate 12 or wherever you need to go.
And those simple instructions, go straight, then turn left.
Yeah, basic but crucial. And finally, that nice closing safe flight.
Seems like a really solid toolkit just for the check-in process.
Agreed. Okay, let's move on. Next scenario, the grocery store. Another super common place you need to interact.
Right. Different kinds of interactions here, usually about finding things, asking prices, paying.
So in this scene, we have Lily talking to Mark, who works at the store. Lily starts with, excuse me, where can I find the bread? Tell me about excuse me.
Excuse me, is your go-to polite way to get someone's attention.
Right, if they're busy or you need to interrupt.
Exactly. It shows you're not just barging in, you're being considerate. Very useful phrase.
Okay, and Mark tells her, the bread is in aisle 6 on your left. It is $3.50 for one loaf. So location and price, very efficient.
Straightforward answer.
What if Lily just wanted the price? How else could she ask besides waiting for him to say it?
Good question. She could simply ask, how much is the bread? Or maybe more specifically, how much is one loaf of bread?
Got it. Then Lily decides to buy it. I'll take one loaf, please. And she adds another question. Also, do you have bananas?
Notice the please again. Always good.
Yep. And do you have item? Seems like a really simple, direct way to ask if they stock something.
It is very clear. You're making your purchase decision. I'll take one loaf, and then smoothly asking about another item. Very natural flow.
Okay. And the ending. Lily says, "Great, thanks. That will be all."
Signaling she's done, ready to pay probably.
And Mark finishes with, "You're welcome. Have a nice day."
Again, those standard friendly closings. You hear "have a nice day" all the time in shops.
All the time. Okay, key takeaways from the grocery store. Excuse me, to get attention politely.
Essential.
Where can I find? Followed by the item you're looking for.
Like, where can I find the milk? Or where can I find the pasta?
Asking the price. How much is one loaf of bread? Or just, how much is it? If you're holding the item, making the purchase, "I'll take one loaf, please," or "I'll take this, please."
And asking about other items. Do you have item? So, do you have any apples?
And that friendly closing, "Have a nice day."
Seems like you could handle a basic shopping trip pretty well with just those phrases.
I think so. Okay, final scenario. Let's shift to a school setting.
Right, school. This brings in things like introductions, finding out about classes, maybe asking for help with homework.
So here we meet Emma and Liam. Emma spots Liam and says, "Hi, I'm Emma. Are you new here?" Very direct, friendly opening.
Yeah, perfect way to start a conversation if you don't recognize someone.
And Liam replies, "Yes, I am. Hello, I'm Liam. Nice to meet you."
And there it is. Nice to meet you. The standard polite response after someone introduces themselves.
Why is that such a standard phrase?
Well, it's simple, it's friendly, it acknowledges the introduction properly, it works. Keeps the conversation going smoothly.
Makes sense. Emma then says, "Nice to meet you too," and asks, "Are you in Mr. Smith's class? And are we in the same grade?"
Natural follow-up questions, right? Trying to find common ground. Do we share classes? Are we at the same level?
Helps you figure out who this new person is in the school context.
Exactly. Building that connection.
Then the conversation shifts. Liam asks, "Did you do the math homework?"
Ah, the classic school question.
Right. And Emma says yes, so Liam asks for help. "Great. Could you help me with question 3? Okay, he uses could you, not can you. Why could?
That's a good catch. Could you is generally seen as a bit more polite, maybe slightly less direct than can you.
Softer.
Yeah, softer, more deferential perhaps. It acknowledges that you're asking for a favor, that the other person might be busy or might say no. Both can you and could you are correct, but could you often sounds, well, nicer when asking for help.
Good distinction. And Emma's response is great. "Sure, no problem. Let's do it together after class." Very helpful.
Very positive and collaborative.
Okay, so key phrases from school. The introduction, "Hi, I'm Name."
And the response, nice to meet you.
Finding common ground. Are you in Name's class? Or are we in the same grade?
Checking on schoolwork. Did you do the math homework?
And that polite request for assistance. "Could you help me?"
Seems like these cover those initial getting to know you moments at school quite well.
Yeah, these scenarios, they really show how just a few sort of core phrases can get you through a lot of different everyday situations.
They really do. It's about having those polite, direct tools ready.
And, the source material we looked at also had some general tips for just improving your speaking overall.
Ah, yes, some good practical advice there.
It mentioned practicing every day, even just a little bit. Consistency is important, right?
Absolutely. Little and often is usually better than one long session once a week.
It also recommended speaking slowly and clearly. And this one's big. Not worrying about making mistakes.
Oh, that is so crucial. Fear of making mistakes holds so many people back.
Totally.
But mistakes are they're part of learning. The goal is communication, right? People will usually understand you even with small errors. You just have to try.
Exactly. The source also reinforces using polite words. "Please," "thank you." We saw those everywhere.
They really grease the wheels of conversation.
And it suggested listening carefully to how others speak and trying to repeat phrases, to get the pronunciation right.
Active listening, yeah. And mimicking native speakers is a great technique.
Plus, actually talking to people. Finding chances to practice. And finally, using simple words you already know well. You don't need fancy vocabulary.
No, clear and simple is much better than complex and confusing. These are all really solid, actionable tips for anyone learning English.
Definitely. So wrapping up our deep dive today, we've seen how learning some key phrases for places like the airport, the grocery store, and school can really boost your confidence.
It's about having those practical tools for real-world interaction.
And remembering that politeness and clarity, they go a long way in English, just like in any language, really.
It is interesting, though, how those little words, please, thank you, excuse me, using could instead of can, sometimes how they reflect underlying social expectations. Understanding that nuance can be really helpful, too.
That's a really great point. It's not just the words, but the feeling behind them. So for you listening, here's a little something to think about. Next time you're in one of these situations or a similar one, maybe consciously try to use just one or two of these phrases.
Even a small interaction.
Yeah, exactly. Notice how it feels. Think about how these little building blocks, these small phrases, can actually help you build bigger conversations and feel, more connected. Keep practicing.
You'll get there.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive.